Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today I am here to rank the top 10 best Christmas horror movies of all time. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so the top 10 best, what I consider to be the best, my favorite Christmas horror movies of all time. Now, there is a lot to pick from. I have been watching and watching and watching. I recently did a live stream and I told everybody, I'm like, I am watching so much stuff. I almost feel bad if I watch something that's not Christmas related. If it's that time of year, so I feel like it's Christmas movies, traditional Christmas movies, non-traditional Christmas movies, and of course, Christmas horror movies. So I have narrowed it down to my top 10. And we're going to get after it right here. We're going to rank these. I'm going to rank them from 10 to 1. And remember, this is my list. And I am not, it's not objective. It's not completely subjective. I put in the filmmaking, the fun of it, all kinds of stuff, how much I enjoy it, all kinds of things. And then I recommend it to you based on what I feel about them. So here goes my list. Coming in at number 10 on my list is Christmas Evil. This is one of the few that I don't have. I'm really in the market for that Vinegar Syndrome release of this with the cool slipcover and all of that. But this is kind of a little bit darker, a little bit different Christmas horror movie. I think it's from 1980, I want to say. Definitely 80s horror. And you have a guy who is obsessed with Christmas, but he's a little disturbed by it after being a kid and seeing basically his dad dressed as Santa Claus, like going down on his mother. He doesn't know that. He's a kid. So he kind of has this twisted obsession thing with Christmas and with Santa Claus and with punishing the naughty. So it's something that we kind of see recurring with Christmas horror movies. But you actually get to see like this guy kind of like his thought process and devolve into this sort of psychosis madness. There's like this whole part where he's looking in the mirror and he's like trying to metamorphosize himself, becoming Santa Claus. And it's really interesting. It's a completely different look. It's something that's a little bit different, a little darker, but I think it has to be on the list. And it is one of the few that I don't have. And I really wish that I did. So Christmas Evil coming in at number 10 on the list. Coming in at number 9 on the list is one that is maybe I like more than others. I'm gonna have a couple of honorable mentions here at the end too, but maybe I like more than other people because the experience I had first watching this with my son a couple years ago and tracking it down. It just has a release coming on physical media here in the next 5 days, but you can catch this on streaming, I'm pretty sure. I am talking about The Mean One. And this actually plays, I did not realize it is the same guy who plays Art the Clown in Terrifier that plays the Grinch in this movie. And the story is basically the little Cindy Lou Who character witnesses murders by the Grinch when she's a child. They act like nobody, believes her. They send her out of town. She grows up away from this town. And she comes back to the town as an adult, and nobody is decorating anything for Christmas. And nobody celebrates Christmas. They're hiding it because if you do anything that shows Christmas spirit, that has anything to do with Christmas, the Grinch will come out and get you. Now, I don't think they ever call him the Grinch. He's always the mean one. And it definitely has some bad acting in it. And you can tell that it's David Howard Thornton that plays the Grinch and Art the Clown. You can tell that he definitely did some character study of Jim Carrey's The Grinch in it for this movie because he has a lot of those mannerisms. He acts a lot like him. There's definitely some Art the Clown flavor. Like I didn't realize it because I had just chased it down on streaming last year, so me and my son could finally watch it. I didn't realize it was the same guy. And once you find that out, you can't unsee it, if that's the case, I guess you want to say it like that, because you see those similarities. And honestly, I think the Grinch outfit here is really good, too. There's also parts of this that play almost like a Bigfoot horror movie, where the Grinch is like living out in a cave and in the wilderness, and like people go missing and all this. And it becomes like a phenomenon outside this town. I think it's good. A lot of people are like, oh, it's horrible acted. Listen, y'all, if we are hanging whether or not horror movies are good on plot and acting, you might as well throw out the bulk of them from the 80s and stuff that we love, because they are not notoriously filled with the most expertly crafted stories and the, greatest thespians of all time. So watch these things to have fun. We have fun with The Mean One. I can't wait to get the Steelbook. I pre-ordered it a while back. It's just a Blu-ray, no 4K. But check out The Mean One this holiday season, and make sure that, you beware of the Grinch. All right, moving on from the Grinch to another icon for number 8 on the list is one that I just got on the MVD sale. I did not have this on physical media. I wish it had came with a slip. I haven't had time to crack this open and watch it on the Blu-ray yet. I've seen this a bunch of times. It is basically Child's Play with a iconic snowman. I am talking about Jack Frost. This movie, as I said, it's Child's Play. That's what this is, with a snowman instead of basically a My Buddy doll. But this thing is fun, right? This is so much fun, and they are kind of in on the joke here, like the double takes that people do, coming after Jack Frost with hair dryers. You have a killer in the body of a snowman. Do not confuse this with the Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. If you want your heart warmed, you watch that. If you want your heart bloody and funny, you watch this. Jack Frost, I just think it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of rewatchability because it's just absolutely batshit crazy. And it is fun. My son hasn't seen this one yet. I can't wait for us to crack this one open on the list here and watch it. Of course, I've seen it many times, but this one is fun. If you have like teenagers too that you want to watch some horror movies with, they're going to get a kick out of this. There's a whole different kind of Frosty here. And it is a lot of fun. And I think it's kind of iconic as far as Christmas horror movies, especially when you factor in, like the claymation and the old cartoon of Frosty the Snowman. And he's so iconic. And the Christmas song, Frosty the Snowman. Listen, I think that, look, they're in on the joke. The killer's name is actually Jack Frost, right? So it is a lot of fun. Turn your brain off. Have some Christmas horror fun with Jack Frost. It comes in at number 8 on my all-time list. Kind of staying with that is another one that you check out. From the minute you see the cast in this, what you're going to get, what the concept of it is. I do not care. It is fun. Christmas horror kind of slasher film. I am talking about Santa's Sleigh starring Bill Goldberg. Now, I'm partial to Bill Goldberg. I used to be a big wrestling fan, especially in the 80s and in the early to mid 90s. But Bill Goldberg played defensive tackle at the University of Georgia, where I did. And I think that's pretty cool. But come on, this is so fun. So the story is Bill Goldberg is Santa Claus because he is the son of Satan, and instead of killing people one night a year, an angel comes down to try to make a deal with him, make a bet with him, and he challenges him to a curling match. Yes, that curling where they like sweeping the ice in front of it in the Olympics, and it's played on ice. Well, the angel challenges him, and if the angel wins, he has 1,000 years in which instead of killing people, he has to spread Christmas cheer and become Santa Claus. And the angel wins, of course. So he becomes Santa Claus, but the movie picks up where his 1,000 years has ended. And now he is free. But unfortunately, instead of learning, to have a spirit of Christmas and things like that over 1,000 years, he's still the devil's son and he is evil. So he is off the chain to go and kill people. And that's what he does. And it's got a lot of fun, like callbacks to Santa Claus, tradition and things like that he's pissed off that he had to do. But like the opening sequence where he first killed, and I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen it, but like the fact that they got James Caan, Fran Drescher, all these people for this one big opening scene, Chris Kattan, for this big opening sequence, where he first goes crazy, is insane to me. And I think James Caan is not even credited in the movie, but he's in it a considerable amount, especially at the beginning for somebody that's uncredited. But it is just batshit crazy from the start. It is so much fun. You can't take it seriously. Again, if you go in here looking for the greatest acting and the greatest story, though it does like have a better story, like concept than a lot of things do, and carries it out. The ending is kind of abrupt, and you're kind of waiting on part 2 the way they did the ending, or whatever. But and there's maybe some threads left untied. But it is a lot of fun, and I think there's only this DVD with the crappy old eco case. But I would love to see like Vinegar Syndrome pick this up and do a at least not, if not a 4K, a Blu-ray with a proper slipcover and all that, because I think it belongs in the top 10 Christmas horror movies. It's so iconic, so ridiculous. Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus, you gotta love it, and it comes in at number 7 on the list. At number 6 on the list is the most recent watch, and it is one that I am not going to talk about a lot because I think I'm going to do a 4K first-time watch review on this, and I am talking about Terrifier 3. Now, I got this early before most people. My man over there at Orbit DVD got it sent out to me. I don't think this hits the street. I think you're going to see this on December 12th. I don't think this actually hits the street for another 5 days. But I got this early. My son and I got turned away. He's just turned 14. I was trying to take him to see this at the theater. He loves these movies. Of course, he grew up with me making horror movies, so, horror is nothing to him. We know the guys behind the production of this movie and stuff, so we couldn't wait to see it. I got it early, me and my son, to watch this thing. And like I said, I'm probably going to do a review of this, but what I was taken aback on is I wasn't maybe expecting like as much of the comedy elements in here. And I think that's what I'm putting in here. Clips, if I can get away with it, is, Art the Clown, dressed as Santa Claus the whole time. But like, there's just these moments like where he keeps smacking, he smacks this girl in the back of the head. And it's like, man, my brother and me used to do that to each other. Or he's laughing or getting pissy. And I like how they're going with a supernatural element to Art the Clown. They're building that mythology. I like that. And I don't want to say too much more because I think I am going to do a review of this. But the 4K Steelbook looks really cool. I think it's going to belong. I think over the years it's going to creep itself up a lot of people's Christmas lists. The reason it's not higher for me on a Christmas horror list is because just in general, like I'm not as big for like the over the top gore in movies. That's just my personal taste. Like I am more of a eerie, like vibes type of guy. Like I love the small town creepy horror where the, mysterious things and ghosts and demons and stuff are lurking under there and you got to figure it out. So that part draws me in where they're moving more towards supernatural more and more with Art the Clown. So I'm down to watch more and continue to give it more of a chance. It could always move up higher next year, but right now my top 10 Christmas horror movies of all time, Terrifier 3 comes in at number 6. All right, at number 5 on the list is one that I just rewatched. I've rewatched this one a couple times this year already. I think it's one of the first ones people think about when they think about Christmas horror movies, and I am talking about Krampus. Now, I really want that beautiful 4K steelbook, but right now I can't buy things that I already have. I don't I it's a whole other topic. I can't just go out and double dip on things I already have, but I would love to get it because Krampus is fun. And I actually, upon rewatching this, it kind of moves up a little bit for me. This is Michael Daughtry. This is like the same guy for Trick or Treat, right? That did the Trick or Treat 2007. And you have a nice cast in here. You have David Koechner, who I always think of, no matter what he does, he's always going to be Champ Kine from Anchorman for me. You have Tony Collette is in this movie, and I'm trying to think of his name right off the top of my head. I can't. Adam Scott. There's a little bit of Christmas Vacation going on in here with David Koechner being kind of like, and I hopefully I say that right, being kind of like Cousin Eddie, who I just absolutely love. Cousin Eddie in Christmas Vacation. I love Christmas Vacation. So I get a little bit of those vibes. And the more I watch it back, actually, the more I like this movie, to be honest with you. I love the flashbacks to like Krampus. I like the way Krampus looks in this movie a lot. It has almost like some Gremlins feel to it for some odd reason to me. And I like that. I like with the little gingerbread men and stuff. I don't know. Just I like it. I wish maybe it was rated R where they could have went a little further with some things. They didn't need to go gory, but they're like maybe restrained with how they talk and stuff like that. But it is a lot of fun. And the more I watch it, the more I like it. The ending and like some of the stuff is maybe a little bit not what I want. I want to say confusing, but maybe not what I want exactly. But I think it's fun. It says a new classic, clever, creepy, and fun. I would agree. Clever, creepy, and fun. So I like that vibe. And I really like how Krampus looks. I like the flashbacks, and I like it. It's kind of got a little bit of mystery as they're unraveling and going through there. Checks all those boxes for me. So for that reason, Krampus cracks my top 5. All right, at number 4 on the list is another one I don't have, and I desperately need the 4K. Got to have the slip. There's a Screen Factory 4K out there for one of the all-time classic Christmas horror movies. I am, of course, talking about Black Christmas. Got any good creepy, unsettling, inappropriate phone calls lately? If you have, maybe you are about to star in your own version of Black Christmas. I believe it's Olivia Hussey. I talked about this a while back. Is the main actress's name. And I always think of her from things like Jesus of Nazareth, playing Mary, or really like It, the 1990 version of It. But she does a good job in this movie. This movie is like kind of a kickoff, really, in a lot of ways, a forerunner for a lot of other movies when it comes to Christmas horror, when it comes to slasher films. It is kind of all there. And I'm serious. I joked about the phone calls, but they are kind of unsettling in this movie, right? And things just kind of keep going and going. And I really do think, like, a lot of people credit it as an early slasher film. They credit it as definitely an early forerunner for Christmas horror. And it's one that I got to get on 4K. I rewatched on streaming to get ready for this video to really do a rankings. And I think it's a classic. I don't love it as much as my top 3. Don't get me wrong. I really like all these movies. They wouldn't be my top 10. But my top 3, you just can't, like, for me, you can't beat them. I think they're the best. But I do love Black Christmas. So it comes in at number 4. Now, at number 3 on my list, I'm going to combine 2 movies into one because they basically did that. And I think this one is iconic as it gets. I'm talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Garbage Day. It's Garbage Day over here. So I got this 4K, which is an amazing 4K from Screen Factory. It looks incredible. I got this, and I revisited this movie for probably the first time in 25, 30 years. I had not watched it in that long. Of course, I've seen it tons of time as a teenager and a kid before that. But and I really had more fun than I remembered. So I ran over to Amazon to buy the Blu-ray of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 because it really recaps like the whole first movie and then moves forward. So I really wanted to see it because I had actually never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Never seen it. Seen this one a bunch of times, never had seen this one. I ordered this on Amazon, fully expecting, it's just a Blu-ray from Scream Factory. Been out a while. I actually got the slip, which is insane. But I think these movies are as iconic as it gets when it comes to Christmas horror. That image right there is super iconic. Both films are fun, a lot of fun. And I like them both. It's hard to separate because there's so much of this movie in this movie. So I'm going to put them together and say double feature these things. If you want to on Christmas night, you can skim around in this one. Kind of like I did, skimmed around to like the new parts of this one. And because I was having to watch a bunch to get ready for this video. But so much fun. 80s cheese. You got some cool ass toys in the background here because he's working in a toy store. Some of those cool ass 80s toys. You got your 80s boobs and kills and all of that good stuff in these movies. And just that alone screams iconic. So I'm going to go Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 as a combo here at number 3 on my top 10 Christmas horror movies list. Coming in at number 3. This is where we get really hard right here. Because number 2, I never thought I would see myself putting this at number 2. Because it is the icon above icons. All right, for me. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you at number 2 on my list is Gremlins. Joe Dante, the reason I say I'm shocked is that it's not number 1. Because this is one of my favorite movies ever. Joe Dante's classic, and this is a Christmas horror movie. I don't care what anyone says. This is a horror movie. At very least, it is gateway horror. But the fact that maybe it's like I had to really take my just nostalgic love out of it and say just maybe for the fact that it is not horror enough knocks it down out of the first place spot. I almost wanted 1 and 1A because they're so different. But I mean, you know the story of this classic Gremlins horror movie. You don't get more Christmassy vibes than this movie, though. The whole town is just covered in snow, Christmas lights everywhere. Everyone is dressed in their Christmassy warm sweaters and scarves, Christmas lights, Christmas cookies being made. It's a Wonderful Life on the television. All kinds of stuff. Everyone getting ready for Christmas. Gizmo is even bought and given as a Christmas gift. You don't get more Christmassy. You don't get more 80s. You don't get more Joe Dante than Gremlins. It is also a horror. There are some dark elements. The way some of these gremlins are killed. I mean, you talk about getting killed in a blender, a microwave. That is gruesome. The way they're killing people, the way Phoebe Cates stops and tells the story of her dad breaking his neck and they don't find him until they smell him in the fireplace. That just grinds the movie to a halt and puts it in a whole other dark level. So yes, I say this is horror. You can argue with me if you want to. At the very least, it's gateway horror. But maybe because it's not as hardcore horror as number 1, that edges it down. But if it's an all-time classic, if I can only pick one movie to watch it for Christmas that's a horror, it may be this one because of the nostalgia reasons. In fact, I love this movie so much, but I don't think as a true Christmas horror, like horror movie, I don't think it can beat number 1. But man, I just love this movie so much. It's in my top 25 favorite movies of all time, regardless of genre. So it was very hard for me. So that's me trying to be objective and put this at number 2. Absolutely love Gremlins. It comes in at number 2 on my list. And that just leaves one spot. And the odd thing about this movie is a lot of people have never seen it. They've never heard of it. And if you haven't, you are doing yourself a disservice if you are a horror movie fan. And if you're a Christmas movie fan, if you're any kind of Christmas horror movie fan, you must see my number one, and that is A Christmas Horror Story. This is a perfect Christmas horror movie, period. Number one, it's an anthology. I love anthologies. So you guys follow me, you know I love anthologies. So that's one big thing that I love is horror anthologies. Number two, you got William Shatner in here. I love William Shatner, but to ice that cake, William Shatner plays a late night FM DJ. If you follow me, you know I love the trope of a late night FM DJ in a horror movie, kind of narrating everything. He's kind of part of a wraparound story, kind of glues everything together a little bit, and it keeps coming back to him. So he's kind of narrating and talking about Christmas over, and he's in this radio studio that's decorated for Christmas. So there's another big trope that I love. And then you have one of the coolest versions of Krampus I have ever seen, a big Billy badass. Santa Claus is a badass in this movie too. All of the stories work well. They're creepy. There's not really a weak point in any of the anthology stories, which is saying something. And this is this Canadian-made horror film. I just think it's a perfect Christmas horror film. It's just a horror film alone. There's not any complaints really to be had. The makeup is good. The effects that they use are good. The acting is good, especially for a movie like this. There's not a weak point. I'm reading back here. A Blackley comic tale of Christmas carnage, an instant classic. Everything a genre nut could want under their tree. A gift of holiday cheer and insane bloody violence. I 100% agree. The reason because it just checks every box for horror fans, but then it is drenched in Christmas and Christmas like vibes. You've got Santa Claus, you've got Krampus, you've got like all of that stuff, decorations everywhere, decorated malls. You've got William Shatner with his beautiful Christmas decorated radio DJ station, it's all there. Everything's there. You got creepy vibes. You got what's going on, a mystery, because the wraparound story will blow your mind when you get that. So I'm not going to spoil that twist. It's super cool twist. So you got the whole what's coming, creepy vibes aspect. It mixes a lot of different horror in here. It does it seamlessly. It does it well. And then it mixes all the Christmas in perfectly. I can't find a fault with this movie. As far as a Christmas horror film goes. So it is my number one. If you have not seen A Christmas Horror Story, do yourself a favor and watch it and get you some, what's it say? A gift of holiday cheer and insane bloody violence. So A Christmas Horror Story comes in at number one on my 10 best Christmas horror movies of all time, at least for this year. I'm always looking to re-rank next year, but that is my list for this year. Let me know what you think. Give me some of your favorites. Let me know what you think about my list. Have fun discussing it. Be nice discussing it, because Santa is watching and so is Krampus if you are naughty. So be nice down there and have a lot of fun. I hope everybody has a great Christmas and holiday season. Of course, I'll be here with lots of videos between now and then and afterwards. And I have a blast doing this. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. You can join the channel at my Patreon, become a Patreon member, or right here on YouTube, you can be a channel member. Get special access to videos, all kinds of stuff, and of course your name and Christmas lights here on every single video. And I will put an Amazon link to all of these movies down here in the comments, plus other great deals. If you use any of those Amazon links to do some of your Christmas shopping, anything you buy while you're there really helps out the channel. You can support me that way, and it costs nothing, and I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me and my family, especially this time of year. And I thank you so much for being here. Spread the pop culture word. Come back and check it all out. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.